think twice. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. 9 times out of 10. What a beautiful day. I bet there's a rain cloud lurking somewhere. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. We're in our own little world, going mad underneath the big lights, and it's long gone midnight. You got your eyes on a girl, offer her your hand and a drink right, and she doesn't even think twice. No bills on the floor when I rose next morning, and the neighbors all came barking. No. Have you ever had one of those days when everything goes your way? It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, it must be. It feels so right, it must be wrong. It feels so right, trust me.
You know I'm not one to break promises. I don't wanna hurt you, but I need to breathe. At the end of it all, you're still my best friend. But there's something inside that I need to release. Which way is right? Which way is wrong? How do I say that I need to move on? I know we're heading separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There is nothing I can really say. I can lie no more, I can hide no more. Got to be true to myself, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. So I'll be on my way. You've given me more than I can return, yet there's oh so much that you deserve. There's nothing to say, nothing to do, have nothing to give. I'ma stay without you. I know we're heading separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you.
In this video, we're going to be flying the triple tank rocket breacher. For our range control, we have a scram and a web, as well as an AB. For our tank, we're going to have a medium ancillary shield booster, and a small ancillary armor repair, as well as 3 transverse bulkhead rigs and a DCU to give us a little bit of hull buffer. And for our damage, we're going to have rockets and a ballistic control system. It's important to note that our damage is going to be pretty low, and it's going to be even lower with the alpha clone application skills for the missile systems. Here I decided to take a 2v1 against a Kestrel and a Merlin. I already know that the Kestrel is somewhat of a light missile kite fit with a long point. Obvious worry is that this Tristan is actually going to be nuke fit, which we quickly find out that it is. And our plan here is to take down that Tristan before it does any serious cap damage to us. Here we let our Ancel run one cycle too many, as it actually ran without a charge and drained most of our cap. Luckily, the Tristan that was nuding us is now dead, so we shouldn't be under very much cap pressure, but that can actually really destroy you in a fight, especially if you are taking a decent amount of damage and you need to start running your Ancel armor repair. One of the main reasons we were able to maintain our capacitor in this fight is this Tristan was actually using some meta zero newts, which aren't going to have as good range as the meta newts, not even the compact one. So because of that, he wasn't actually able to apply his newts out to us while we were scram kiting him, and we were kind of just able to maintain as though you weren't really there. In this fight, we're engaging a Tormentor. One of the issues with engaging a Tormentor is going to be that it's going to have really good application, whether it's using pulse lasers. It can hit us out with Scorch at around that 6 to 8k mark pretty decently, or if he's got the beams, he can hit us out to 10 with some multi-frequency, depending on the gun size. Here we're engaging a Merlin. If we're looking in space, we can immediately see that he actually has range control over us, and with us seeing the scram web that's applied to us right now, we immediately think that we're going to be facing a dual web Merlin fit. And what we're going to want to do here, since we won't have range control, is we're going to want to try and manually pilot to get under their guns and mitigate DPS. We do this a little late, and if we had done it sooner, we might have actually won this fight. In this engagement, we're going up against a slasher. One of the main issues that we can actually face going up against a slasher with the alpha clone missile skills is that we might not actually apply very well. This is because of the slasher's low signature and high speed with the AB. It'll mitigate a fair amount of our damage with that. Slasher's biggest mistake was bringing only one ammo type. Its fit kind of yells that it's a scram range kiting fit, so the barrage kind of makes sense there, but he could actually hit us really well with some phase plasma while he tried to pull it in close to break us. In this clip we're actually engaging in a 2v1 with Jimmy Skynet as our wingman. He's in a Tristan. We decided to go in first because we have a much heavier tank, even though we are an alpha clone, and if we can control one of them, push ourselves off the Marlin, then we can actually limit the damage to only the Incursus and potentially tank this until he gets here and helps us bring one down. Between these two fits, we see the usage of both Meta Zero modules, which you should pretty much never use, and we also see a small ancillary shield booster, which is pretty much something you should almost never use. In this fight, we're engaging another Scram Web Incursus. However, this Incursus does have range control on us, which leads us to believe that he has a nanofiber or an overdrive system in the lows, which will give him that little bit of extra speed that'll allow us to have that range control. On top of this, after the fight, the pilot did admit that he was using some high-grade Asclepions, which are some armor wrap implants, and we can kind of see this. Every time he cycles his ancil, we can see his entire armor health bar go all the way back up. In this engagement, we are fighting another Incursus, and this Incursus seems to only have 2 webs and no scram, so he's going to have really good range control on us, and he's actually going to apply really well. So if he gets close and starts doing too much damage, we're just going to go ahead and dip on out.
Summertime sadness. I just wanted you to know that baby, you the best. I got that summertime sadness. Summertime sadness. Got that summertime sadness.
In this engagement, we're actually going after Rifter that doesn't really seem to be doing much to us other than triggering his guns on us, which is kind of interesting. So let's figure out how he's fit.
I got that summertime sadness.
I found peace in your vibes. Can show me there's no point in trying. I'm at one, and I've been quiet for so long.
I'm feeling electric tonight. Cruising down the coast, going about 99. Got my bad baby by my heavenly side. I know if I go, I'll die happy tonight. Oh my God, I feel it in the air, telephone wires above, all sizzling like a snare. Honey, I'm on fire, I feel it everywhere. Nothing scares me anymore.
So the main mistakes I saw this guy making with his fit, he's got a lot of Meta Zero modules. Meta Zero modules just are not a good idea. And then we also have him not applying his web during the fight or the scram, but we can probably chalk that up to panic. In this engagement, we are going up against another Scram Web Incursus, but he does have a lot of range control. This time it's not due to dual webs, but if we look at his velocity, even while webbed, he's still going like 1k per second, so we can't really keep our range on him, so we immediately change our strategy from keeping range on him and getting that orbit up at around 7.5k-ish to trying to get under his guns, which works out pretty decently.
here for too long.
So not only were we right about that 10MN, but this dude also had an overdrive injector system, giving him even more speed. Good fight. Based on this guy's speed and his repping, it's pretty clear that he's going to be a dual medium ancillary shield booster fit. Sadly, the fight is interrupted by some baddie blobbers before we're able to score the kill, but good fight either way. This fight we decided to try and engage a Comet to see how well we can do against him. The answer is not well at all.
The club isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And you come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance.
In this fight, the Comet's able to apply to assert range with the 3 light drones, and he also seems to have range control on us, so he's able to pull in and use some of his higher damage ammunition and just burn us down. In this fight, we decided to engage another Comet. We actually know this guy. He's a good dude from local. Around this point, we kind of see that he's not doing as much damage as the other Comet, so we're going to kind of take a guess here and say that he doesn't have null and that he's not able to apply to us really well.
We let the story begin. We're going out on our first date. You and me are thrifty, so go all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up the plate. We talk for hours and hours about the sweet and the sour and how your family's doing okay. And leaving
this clip, we're engaging another scram web and curses. The reason I'm involving this clip in the video is that at the very beginning we can see that he's not applying very much, then he kind of drops off his attempts at damage without anything but the drones, and that's his reload time, and he's going and loading out some null, and then we start to see him apply a lot better. In the natural progression of this fit, you want to use your ancillary shield booster first. Don't rep without a charge in there because you'll drain most of your cap. And after that, you want to have a reload going on your ancillary shield booster and try and tank for as long as possible with your ancillary armor repair while leading through into a little bit of hull buffer if you need to. Try and get that reload off on the shield booster, and you should have a massive amount of tank.
Shape of you.
When flying this fit, it's important to keep a few things in mind. First off, While you're running your medium ancillary shield booster, make sure that you don't overrun it and run it once without a charge. You'll wipe out most of your cap and make it so that you can't use your ancillary armor repper for its entire 8 cycles. Next off, heat every cycle of your tank. Every single heat cycle will give you a little bit extra rep over the unheated cycles, so it'll give you more HP to actually work with and survive with. Also, it's important to note that a fair portion of your tank is actually the range that you can keep to stay out of the range of your opponent's guns, or at least their highest damage ammos. And finally, your best targets are probably going to be blaster ships like the Merlin or the Incursus, simply because you can control them, keep them at range, and take them down relatively easily. After filming this video, I ultimately figured out that you can forgo your whole tank rigs and go for 2 EM screen reinforcers and 1 anti-thermal screen reinforcer. And through your rep cycles, if you heat every cycle of your rep, this will give you about 200 extra HP if you're able to live through that. So if you feel comfortable dropping that hull for a little bit more resistance shields, I highly recommend doing that. I want to give a special thanks to my donators, Jalen, Caladriel, Demonic Moo, and Fury Wrath for giving sizable ISK donations to help me keep my content running. Thanks, boys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to fly dangerously.